Good afternoon. I'd like to talk about a guitar. And if you saw the title of this video, you might know the guitar, you might not. If you don't know it, I'm going to introduce it to you. Or introduce you to it, not it to you. This is a standard plain Jane style Stratocaster. This is my knockaround guitar. This is a Squire Strat that I've had for several years. It's by all means a standard example of a Strat. This one has a medium, a fairly small neck on it with nice small frets. Two-tone knobs, volume knob, 3 single coil pickups, 5-way selector, and a vintage style tremolo system. On the back of the guitar, you've got an access port, and that's to adjust your springs, and also the holes here to put your strings through to slide them up into the bridge so you can string the guitar. Everybody's played Strats. Pretty much every major guitar artist at one time or another plays a Strat. You find them everywhere. I guess when people think of Strats, they think of Jimi Hendrix, they think of Pink Floyd, they think of different people. Eric Johnson, even Buddy Holly played a Strat. So it's a guitar that has lived the test of time since about 1954, I believe. And it stayed pretty much the same, except for, I think the originals had a 3-way selector instead of a 5-way. So I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to get the star of our show up today. It is a 1983 Dan Smith era Fender Strat. And if you'll notice, it is different. The body's a little bit smaller, cuts are a little bit different on it. It does have 3 pickups and a 5-way selector. Past that, well, there's some different things. Now it does have bigger frets than the ones that are on the Squire. So I don't think they would what you call medium jumbo. I think you'd probably call them mediums. It does have the small headstock from the 80s. But if you'll notice, instead of having your 1/4-inch input for your cable over here, it's on top. And with tone knob, volume knob, the bridge. The bridge is a Shaler top-loading free flight tremolo, and it came with a locking nut that a lot of the people who I see have these guitars do not have this. This is the nut. I'll show you what it looks like. It's got 3 screws to hold the strings in place inside of it to lock them like you would a Floyd Rose. But instead of having your fine tuners with a Floyd Rose down here, they're on the nut. So you would put this here, and it would sit with the strings going through it, and you rough tune it, lock it down, fine tune it, and you could float the bridge. It's got another adjustment here that you can adjust a little bit. But if you want to work on the springs on this thing, to really adjust the tension of the bridge, you have to take the pick guard off. Same problem they have with Telecasters, and the fact that you've got to take the pick guard off to adjust the front pickup. And as you probably saw a minute ago, it does not have a back plate because the strings are loaded in from the front. Overall, plays like a Strat, sounds like a Strat, feels like a Strat. The neck is kind of small. The neck is smaller than that one. Feels like almost like a Telecaster that somebody squashed a little bit. But overall, it sounds like Strat. It's just people, I don't think we're quite ready for this concept, and it wasn't really that effective. If they'd have put a standard vintage tremolo on this thing, it probably would have been a little bit more successful than it was, because people did not like this thing. I don't use it. I don't use the nut. I've got it down, set up like a regular traditional Stratocaster. I'm not going to fly it. It's barely touching the wood, and I use it like a regular Stratocaster. I think it's a neat guitar. It sounds good. I've recorded with it. It's got good tone, good intonation. It is a little lighter than the other one because of the body wraps and such. Excuse me. But one of the things that I did notice is this is probably a nitrocellulose lacquered body, because this thing, when I got it, was an off-white. It was darker than this pick guard, but not much. if you'll notice now, it looks like vanilla pudding. I mean, it's got a wild, darker color to it. It's beautiful. I mean, the finish on this is gorgeous. It's just, you know, the rest of the instrument. It's good, it works, but if I had to choose between the two styles, would I choose the 83 Smith Strat or the standard Stratocaster? I'm going to take the standard Stratocaster because it feels good. It feels traditional. It looks traditional. This is not quite there. This has got that, you know, in the 80s they were always trying to do something kind of hip, kind of modern, kind of different. You know, Fender was cutting costs and they made some changes. So hey, it'll be hip and modern. It's different. You know, well, no, it didn't go very well. But if you can, you know, imagine that they made both of these and the other one sold, I can understand why after about 2 years they just quit making them. Got any questions, comments? Leave me a note below in the comments. Hit the like and subscribe if you want to, because I've got some more stuff coming. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a good afternoon.